welcome to this week's Dirt Shed Show with me, Martyn Ashton, and we've got the Don in. Neil, how are you?
All right, good, thanks.
That was quite the...
It was the biggest intro I've had in ages.
In ages. Well, it's good to see you here, and
Thanks.
It's perfect that you're here today because we're talking about, I'm calling it automatic gears, okay? I know that's not necessarily the right term for it, auto shifting, but just yesterday, we're on Friday on the Dirt Shed Show, but just yesterday, I was watching this amazing video from Steve Jones over on EMBN, and the new SRAM system's out, Powertrain. For the Axis system. Basically, another version, like Shimano's got a system as well, of auto-shifting gearbox bikes. Not gearbox bikes, auto-shifting gears on an e-bike.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting. I love to see this from SRAM as well. Their e-bike motor with all this tech going into it.
I've got some big questions about this, Neil, because I'm like, well, one, what is it and what does it do? And then secondly, will we see this coming to analog bikes, not just on e-bikes, because that's what it's on at the moment. And then maybe we'll get into the costs and things a bit after that. But just explain briefly what it is. I mean, Steve's done a great video about this, but
the robot's taken over. So this bike will shift gear for you, auto shift. However, as well as that, it's got coast as well, coast shift. So you can actually, you're riding along, you decide, oh, there's a hill coming up, I want 3 more gears, and you don't have to pedal, it will spin up the chainring for you and it'll shift the gears on the rear.
Amazing.
But also the auto shift is deciding for you. Like it keeps your cadence the same and just shifts the gears around for you.
Yeah, and Steve brings up a point in his video about the Shimano system and the SRAM system is actually keeping the cadence up is also another way of actually teaching everyone to use their e-bike motor better, because a lot of people try and go up into too big a gear and feel like they're pushing a massive ratio, but actually the cadence is where the benefits are.
I find I'm really sensitive to cadence. There's a certain cadence I like to spin at, and I shift all the time to try and be there. I think it's from riding flat pedals. If you're a bit off or you're spinning really fast, your feet will fly off. So I shift probably more than some riders do. So I'd be really interested. I've not tried this. I'd love to try it and see how it feels. I know there's going to be people in the comment section saying, I don't want this, I want to be able to choose. However, I'm going to reserve judgment. I really want to try it. You can also override it. You can still click, I want another gear, and it'll still work that way as well. And you can choose to turn this on and off, however you want to ride it. Will it come to normal bikes? At the moment, it needs the e-bike motor to turn the chain ring to do this for you, the coast shift at least. It could, definitely could. I know back at the Honda RN01 that we talk about quite often, the downhill bike that was legendary, made by Honda, massive company, that had the freewheel at the front. So in the box, basically, the cassette on the rear wheel, the chainring even.
Kept spinning.
So you could shift the gear even when you weren't pedaling, it'll do the same thing. So you could make that auto shift as well if you had an electric powered mech in there with some sort of brain that knew how fast. And
I mean, that's really for the coast shift, isn't it? But you could quite easily have it on an analog bike just by having some kind of sensor either on the crank, probably just be on the pedals, that's just basically giving you the option to be able to work out that cadence and put in auto shifting at least.
All that technology exists already. You look at the
I think it's coming.
The suspension, you've got accelerometers, you've got flipping everything. I mean,
let's accept, right? I think it's coming to analog bikes too. So gearbox, I keep saying that. Automatic gears on bikes, do we want it? Neil, it sounds like you do.
I do. I mean, it's shot down. Everyone say, I don't need it. And you're right, you don't need it, but I can't wait to try it.
I want to know everyone's opinions. Leo, do you want it?
I'll try it.
Shrugged his shoulders.
He didn't look that keen. I'm not sure about this because I feel like I remember a friend of mine saying that he'd got a Tesla and then he bought a really nice car after that, and he ended up saying, actually, once you've had a car that's got a brain and it's smart, you don't want to be in a dumb car anymore. You want to be in the clever one. And I feel like there's something about that in this idea. You might just, once you've ridden one, thought, I don't want to think about changing gears, because changing gears isn't mountain biking. It's something we have to do to mountain bike. It's not. It's not the essence of the sport. So there's that to it. But I'm thinking about things like cost.
Cost to be the big one. I know that's why everyone will be jumping in the comments because we don't need it. You're right, and it's going to cost loads of money. I'm sure it will if it comes to the right way as well.
Whether it's the same price or not, it's going to cost money to change to it. So if it comes to a point where you're changing up, maybe it's not necessarily an extra cost. It's just a cost you're going to have to take anyway. What about buying into like the whole ecosystem of a brand? So for either of these systems, on SRAM or on Shimano, you've kind of got to have the whole caboodle in terms of like the motor. You've got to have the chain, you've got the derailleur, the cassette, everything.
Don't mind that, to be honest, because both of the Shimano and SRAM are both really good, and you've got price points of all this stuff. You don't buy a car and then choose what gearbox goes in it. It comes as part of the package, so I don't mind that.
Yeah, I guess, do you really swap your parts around that much anyway? What about, it's going to create analog bad habits. So say in 5 years' time, you're someone who's got straight on an automatic gears bike, and then you get back on a bike that hasn't got that, and you don't know what you're doing because you don't know when to shift, when not to shift, and it's bad habits, or does that not matter?
Oh gosh, I don't think so.
Maybe
get involved. Get involved in the comments. Are these bike companies going too far? Are you totally against all this technology and the cost? Or are you a bit like me, just excited to try it out? Get involved in the comments, and maybe we'll talk about it next week as well.
Cannot wait to hear what you think about that. The comments is where you can get involved in the show, and we really love reading what your thoughts are on these things, on the Dirt Shed Show especially, because we're a community, aren't we? So get involved in the comments. Fantastic. Right, let's head over to Toff for this week's Sickest Thing. I heard it actually made him sick this week.
Right, this week's Sickest Thing has to be this new video from Graham Agassi and YT called Hometown Shredding. As expected, it features Aggie shredding the place he grew up and made a name for himself, and legendary freeroad town, Kamloops. It's actually so high quality for a web video. It actually feels like a proper mountain bike film part. Like, the production quality is just so good, and the riding itself, just so much style. Like, the dude's so steezy, but at the same time, some actual gnarly clips. Such as this steep chute where he G's out in the corner in what's basically axle deep brown pow. You obviously know it's steep when he causes a literal avalanche. And the double tabletop, obviously so sick. Right, that's my sickest thing this week. Time to go back to the shed.
Hacks and bodges time, but thank you, Toff, that was sick.
Wasn't it?
Wasn't it just? Right, first hack this week. This is nice, actually. This is from Craig.
I like to see a converted van.
Yeah, he's converted his van. He's got a nice little setup there. I like what he's done with the fork holders. That's clever. Put them up high, gets the bikes further into the van, and now he can fit the wheels across at 90 degrees. It's neat, it's tidy, it's a hack.
I like the ceiling. It's lined with something. It's cool graphics. So is that
the ceiling's cool.
That a T4 VW Transporter? I think it might
could be.
I used to have T4. Or is it T5? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's very, very nice, Craig. Well done. A hack for sure. Next up, I like this. It's a bike rack conversion for a ute over in Australia.
We're at Jeffrey. We're in Tasmania.
Now, this doesn't look like much until you think about what it's achieving. So he's basically created this roof rack across the back of the flatbed, but of course that means the flatbed is still usable.
Yeah.
It's very, very clever. So Jeffrey, over in Tasmania, in your ute.
And you got the yellow Giga with a coil shock on it, which is...
can't go wrong.
Very nice.
Can't go wrong. Yeah, I quite like that too. That's very neat as well, isn't it?
Like it.
Yeah, clever idea. Doing more than it looks.
Now, I think we're moving into the Bodge territory here. So Brandon from Junction City, Oregon said, couldn't afford to buy 2 tyre inserts, so I bought one and then punched out a bunch of foam dowels from the insert, and then I cut it in half and glued the dowels to the inside. I don't really understand.
Hang on a minute.
So cut it like that way, like depth ways. I don't really understand.
What I don't understand is that really you couldn't afford to buy 2. How much is one insert?
They're quite expensive.
Oh, come on.
I would suggest.
Can you buy them singularly?
Yeah. I would say maybe I would always run one on the rear. I'm not that bothered about the front. Feels like you need a half 2 half good ones.
So these dowels are kind of creating the height that he's lost in by cutting it in half lengthways.
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure about this. Looks like a bodge.
Brandon, I tell you what, it's a great photo. It really made me think. I had to work out what you'd actually done. Yeah. What I'd like to know is does it work? How does it work? I mean, do the dowels stand up? I guess you'd have to get a puncture to find out.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting idea. You may have just come up with a brand new product, Brandon. You don't know. You may have just come up with a, material-saving version of tyre inserts.
I mean, they're going to be twice as light, half the weight even. That sounds better, doesn't it?
All the technical terms here on the Dirt Shed. Neil, pick your favourite hack this week, and I'm going to send a GMBN race top
nice.
their way.
I'm going to go for Jeffrey and his ute rack. He's done some welding. He's sorted it out. I think that's really good. Jeffrey,
you are a winner. There's a GMBN race top. Feel it coming over to Tasmania right now. Might take a while, but we'll get there.
Oh my god.
Trees hurt, don't they? Avoid the trees.
I thought that front puncture was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. There's like bombs going off in the front tyre or something weird.
That was some big old crashes there. Fair play. If you would like to star in the show, I don't recommend this is where you try and do it. But if you have had a crash, send them into the GMBN uploader, linked down below in the description. You could be on the show or any of our social channels, You could be out there TikToking yourself to stardom.
Wow.
So turn those awful moments into something good. Right, we've got to keep up to date with what's going on in the world of mountain biking. So let's head over to the news with Tom.
What's up everyone, some very quick news for you this week. Verisandler's picked up a new sponsor. Monster Energy logos all over her new fresh Fox lid signify her move to the Monster Energy Freeride team. There's a new bike from Merida. The 120 is the latest model to receive an update, with the new frame being available in 2 iterations, the classic 120 and the 96 Lite, which features a shorter stroke, shock and fork alongside a few spec alterations to offer a budget-friendly alternative aluminium version. DVO have given a refresh to the Onyx, bumping it up to a 38mm stanchions to expand its intended use to be burly enough for long travel e-bikes as well as enduro and bike park riders. A new arch design acts as a torsion bar, meaning the arch gets stiffer with more force applied, so it should reduce deflection and improve steering precision. There's a new crown, and the fork uses the D1 damper with the low friction damper seals and either their OTT or super light negative spring system. They're available between 160 and 180mm in 3 colors, available late October, starting at $1,149 US. Last but not least, a few new tools from OneUp to bolt onto your bike. The EDC inline pump mount and the EDC tube strap mount are their latest offerings for on-the-bike utility. Pretty much doing exactly what they say on the tin, but also useful for groceries too, as this picture in the press release demonstrates. Speaking of new bikes, it looks an awful lot like there might be something new from Orbea on the way. More on that when we know it. But for now, there's an interesting new webpage which has appeared with what seems to be a bit of a quiz on it. Sounds like they've also got an interesting trip up for grabs for one lucky winner, so there's a link below for you to go over and check it out for yourselves. Alright, that's my time this week. Remember to tune into GCN Plus for the Elite Level XC and Downhill from Snowshoe this weekend. We'll also be streaming Junior DH, Under 23 XCO, and of course Elite Downhill semi-finals on GMBN Racing YouTube too. Head over there and set those reminders now.
Thank you, Tom. Busy week. Love it. All going on. Should we do a bit of caption contest?
Oh, I mean, I'm staring at the one from last week. I can't tell what it is.
It's rich. It's rich. I feel like my suggestion for the caption last week was, I feel like he's doing an impression of those aliens they found in Mexico. You know the ones?
Yeah.
That are like little Action Man size.
That are like E.T.
Why would they be Action Man size? It's really weird.
And look a lot like E.T. Seems quite a coincidence.
Interestingly, the best debunking I've heard of the aliens in Mexico is, why have they got a nose? because a skull doesn't have a nose, so why have they got a nose?
That was the most interesting one, was it?
Well, that's the most obvious, isn't it? It's like, well, how could it be 1,000 years old and it still have a nose?
I don't know.
Anyway, should we do hacks and bodge? No.
Done that.
Anyway, let's carry on with Caption Contest. Rich in his Mexican alien stance. We got some good suggestions for this.
Moto Rolamine says, Rich trying to persuade his new cat to be a trail dog. That's quite funny, actually.
It's quite a good one. Paul Butler 1602 says, after a long day filming at Bike Park Wales, Rich has the dreaded death grip claw hands.
Oh, it's been a while since I've had that.
Do you know what though? Rich is the one guy who wouldn't get that because he has got vice-like hands. He really has.
Maybe. Damon Bassett says, with the loss of Doddy, GMBN takes the extreme measure of cloning spare presenters. That's a good idea, I like it. Well, we'd have cloned Doddy before he left, surely, if that was the case.
Yeah, if we'd have cloned, we want to get closer to Doddy. We don't want more Riches. Chris Gunter 9901 says, Rich is working out the kinks in his fingers after installing Cushcore.
Yes.
It does make you feel a bit like that, doesn't it?
Sam White, the cost of living crisis hit so hard that Rich joined OnlyFans, but his debut pick was so bad he now owes the subscribers money.
That's a very good one. That could be the winner. In fact, that's our last one this week. Should we give it to Sam White? That's good, isn't it? Sam White, well done. Stunt mug on its way to you.
Whoa.
That was so good. Right, here's this week's Caption Contest photo. There you go. Give us a caption for that and we will... That was the worst throw in history. Give us a caption for that photo. We will get the stunt mug bag and you could be winning it next week. Right, let's take a look at some things we like this week. Yeah, got some good stuff this week. Have you seen this new Bosch motor hack?
I've seen drills being used for something like this. It's genius.
It's good though, it looks like it works. It's front wheel drive, but you know.
It's not as good as this trail dog whip. Scrub, I'd call it, maybe.
You need the audio. It's all about the audio. That second one.
Sideways.
So good, so good. A motorbike would struggle to do that better, actually. Check out this. Mad confidence from Dennis Ennison, BMX rider. This guy's telling him, basically, I'm not going to move, and if you try that, I am going to have to call the police. And he just nails it.
You can see him sort of eyeballing it as he's having conversations, just staring at the rail. Yeah.
But you've got to be confident to hit that first go.
You've got to be gnarly. Dennis Ennison is very gnarly.
He is. And I tell you what, right, if you want some fun and you're of an age, right, here's my favourite photo at the moment. Official Evel Knievel. Yeah. Basically, someone has chipped one of the old school Evel Knievel toys and he is jumping some serious shit on it.
It's better than the real Evel Knievel.
It's unbelievable. Actually, Evel Knievel wasn't as
good as this.
Yeah, he crashed a lot. He crashed a lot. And apparently he was an absolute...
star.
No. Apparently he was a bit of...
Yeah, I bet.
I was, sad to find that out. Anyway, some things we like this week. The toy Evel Knievel is an absolute hero, and you can follow him and have fun watching it. Right, let's take a look at some things we've got coming up this week. Neil, what are you looking forward to this week on the channel?
Well, on Saturday we got the cheap bikes, they're back. Rich and Isaac went out, they did some upgrades to see what made them faster. So what is the best upgrade to cheap bikes to get the most performance out of the bike?
Oh, I like that. I tell you what I'm looking forward to, seeing Blake and particularly Jack, the creator.
Yes.
The man we tried to teach wheelies. Actually, we did teach him wheelies.
Yeah, he could do it.
He can ride pretty good. They basically went out to try and see if they could ride an EDR stage, enduro, as fast as the slowest of the pros, basically.
Yeah, they put a timer on one stage to see if they could beat any of the pros.
That's quite an interesting ask, because we all want to know, how quick is Blake? Is he quick?
He is fast.
What I think they might have found out is even the slowest EDR riders are quite fast.
We'll find out on Sunday. Keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, that's a good video check. Obviously, there's lots of other stuff going on GMBN, but also on GMBN Tech and on EMBN. Of course, there's that video all about the SRAM auto shift as well. Hey, don't forget GMBN Racing. There's lots of racing action this weekend as well. Yeah, there is this week, isn't there? Got snowshoe this weekend, so junior downhills and under 23 cross country. Plus, actually, we got Monster and the weekend after. So the World Cup season is coming to an end. Oh, who's going to win? Who's going to win? Neil, on the spot, who do you think's going to win this first round of the last two? To make it exciting, is someone could seal it
in this weekend.
Dakota Norton is on a run in the men's.
Oh, shut up.
Dakota Norton.
Shut up, Neil. Dakota Norton's not going to win.
Home race.
Ugh.
Apparently he said this isn't his favourite track, but he's on form.
Yeah, he is on one, actually. He's just won the Fox Open.
Yes, that's true.
So he's doing
We're going to talk about Asa Vermette at some point. We're going to talk about him because he's a junior racer. The hype is real, and actually, obviously, he's thrown down. He got second at the US Open, and he's not racing World Cups yet. I think he's too young. Next year, he's racing a full Junior World Cup series, and he's probably going to be fast in the pros. So we need to talk about him.
That is incredible. Yeah, we'll see him coming up. I feel like Bruni might put a bit of a mark.
Yes, he's always there. We'll see. Exciting times.
Yeah. Anyway, Neil, stop this. We haven't got time to talk about it. We've got to do the bike vault. It's the bike vault. I tell you what, I asked for 26-inch wheel bikes for this week.
Did you get any?
Last week's show. Boy, did we.
Yeah.
So many, so good.
Nice.
You guys have all got 26-inch wheel bikes. I love it, because I love 26-inch wheel bikes.
Yeah, I do. I read that.
I think
down.
they are nearly exactly as good as every other type of mountain bike. All the other stuff we've been doing since 26-inch wheel bikes has marginally made them faster. Really small margin.
Go on, let's get in there. This is Nicola's Harrow Extreme of 2009, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Check it out, it's got Hope brakes in there, I remember those levers, and that Cane Creek double barrel shock.
Yeah.
They had massive hype back now, never ridden one.
What are you giving it?
Nice.
Nice. No, yeah, nice. Kona up next.
Oh.
Hutch's Kona.
Bomber Z2 or 3.
I like the way there's a 27.5 wheel in the background, so we can measure it against it like that.
Mooney Moolah Konas used to have the best names.
Yeah.
So you've got an XTR chainstay protector.
Yeah. I'm going to say
XTR
something controversial.
Parallel V-brakes. Those
I'm going to
V-brakes.
say something controversial. I don't like Konas. To Konas. You can't use that. Blow my fingers.
My first bike.
I was doing that.
My first bike was a Kona, and you know what? I hate Canada, so whatever. I don't, but I wanted to say that to shock Martyn.
Oh dear, emotionally stunned. Next up is a orange Patriot. Neil, you must love that.
Yes, all right.
Come on, that's of a time.
Yeah.
I'd say that's super nice.
All right.
I feel like I've got to give the Kona a super nice. I'm sorry, I was just joking. I was just trying to be controversial.
Hey, look,
mean it.
Justin's Orange Patriot. It says it's a perfect blank canvas for a tribute to my grandfather who served in the Royal Air Force.
Oh,
sadly,
ring the bell.
Shot down in his Lancaster bomber over France in May 1944. I'm reading a book, D-Day, Anthony Beaver at the moment. I love World War II. I don't love it. I'm very interested by it.
Stop talking. Next up, we have got Rob's Rocky Mountain.
Hammer and Giro.
That's pretty old school.
That is old school.
Yeah. Old school, and it's nice. It's nice. The bag rack
He's
on the
ridden
back
it
is
from
ruined.
Vancouver to Mexico and back.
Yeah, well, that's too far. You're riding it too far. Next up is Collins Orange P7.
Yeah, retro Pace RC 35.
Oh, yeah.
That's super nice for 4 kilo.
Yeah, very super nice.
More.
Next up, old school common cell.
Well, I say old
Dovey.
school. We're moving quite a lot further forward since that.
From the
orange.
older, from the previous bike. But I like that it's at Dovey because obviously it would be really appreciated by the Athens because they spent some time in those
That
bikes.
was probably, I can't remember my dates, but that was the colour of Commissar they rode. So let's say it's probably about the same time.
So we'll say a nice. Yeah, we'll say a nice.
Look at that. That's nice.
That's a big seat or a tiny bike.
2001 Specialized Stunt Jumper Pro. I love the colour and the graphics of that and the tan walls. Oh, super nice. It's quite a small bike.
That's what I started my mountain biking trials career on. Probably
really
that size as well. Next up, we have got it's a Specialized stunt jumper.
The Santa Cruz Heckler. This was one of their first. Was it their first ever full suspension bike? The Heckler.
Sorry, my details aren't moving with my bike.
It's nice.
Yeah,
super nice. I got super nice.
Super nice. Yeah, I wouldn't have given that super nice. Next up, we've got a Hope Academy 26.
Oh.
So this is part of the Hope Academy. You basically pay a subscription, and you just keep swapping your bike over as you grow.
So when the kid goes from 20 to 24 to 26.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So a very small little bike, but basically of this time, not of the 26-inch era, really.
Wow,
Fat
retro.
chance.
I've got one of those USC seat posts on my old bike, not that colour.
I thought you were going to say you had one in bikes now.
No, they're mega money.
Everything in pink looks awful, doesn't it?
Come on. Control Tech stem.
That should be a super nice, but that pink, man.
I'm giving it super nice.
Oh, whatever. Next up, we have got 2 26-inch wheel Cannondales to make up for all that crap you were talking about.
That's like the Cedric model on the left with the Siemens sticker on it.
It is Cannondale Siemens, yeah. Sort of that was the end of the good times, really, Cannondale Siemens.
Yeah. Nice.
When your team just reduces down to just Cedric, you know it's not really working anymore.
I can't remember. They came back.
I'm not saying Cedric's not good. I'm just saying it was a big thing and then it went lit.
They had Jerome Clement start of Enduro. Is that right? My memory's
Actually, yeah. Didn't Jerome Clance win?
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, my facts might be out there. Anyway, that wouldn't be unusual. That's the end of the Bike Vault for this week. If you'd like to see your bike on the Bike Vault, send it into the uploader and you could be on the show this week, or your bike could, getting dissed by two idiots like us. Hey, it's fun.
Yeah, what are we asking for? What do we want next week?
Do you know what? We had so many 26-inch wheel bikes. I wouldn't mind seeing some more 26-inch
Part
bikes.
2.
I really feel like there was a lot we missed this week. So if you've got a 26, keep them coming. If not, we'll start bleeding back into the normal size wheel bikes. But yeah, I've got a lot of time for them. Send your 26s in for next week. And that's all time we've got this week, Neil. We've run out. Did you feel the clock just click past just then?
It did. I think it's, time's clock off.
Exactly on time. Right, okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the Dirt Shed Show next week. Make sure you like, love, and subscribe. Get involved in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Neil, say goodbye to that guy.
Bye.
Bye.